doing. I left the week after, I think, the meeting. And I had a great time, although it was cut short by a few days, and I barely made it back into the country. So that was fun, very stressful, but everything is going very well there. But as I was getting ready to leave, the Kenyan government actually closed all of the schools in Kenya. There were only 3 reported cases of COVID at that time, but they really took strong action. And so as I was leaving, all of my kids were leaving too. So even though they're orphans, most of them, they do have guardians, usually a grandparent that they stay with when they're not in school or with us. So they went home to stay with their guardians, which is a little bit heartbreaking because so many of these kids, the reason why they're with us is because their families can't afford to feed them and they don't have money for their essentials. So it has been pretty difficult to not have the children within our community. And we were hopeful that this past week schools would reopen, but I guess the cases are spiking. They have over 3,000 cases now. So they have told us that the schools are closed until further notice, which is really unfortunate. But we trust their judgment on that. So in order to make sure that our kids they still have food and they're still being taken care of, we're launching a campaign to actually deliver kits of essential items to all of our kids. So we have a kit would include maize, beans, thick food items, but also soap. I mean, so many of these kids can't afford to buy soap and food. So we're making sure that they have what they need until school reopens. So that's kind of where we're at. But I do want to thank you for all of the money that you collected for the cows. My staff they're cow shopping as we speak. So they're really excited that we'll be able to add to that project. And I do have some staff within our community and they're taking care of the animals and our crops and making sure that our facilities are ready for our kids when we return to normal, whatever that may be. So thank you very, very much. I will make sure that I send pictures of our cows to you, and you can name them if you want. I'm letting people name the cows, so you can decide, but I do appreciate it. Thank you. So.
Thank you so much for the update, Jen. Do you have the capacity once schools are reopened? Are you worried at all about having the materials needed for proper sanitation and disinfecting and all of that? I just know that even here, it can be hard to get your hands on things like that.
Yeah, I mean, we've done what we can. I mean, the trouble is we don't have running water. So we have, barrels with a little spigot, and that's how they wash their hands. Before I left, I made sure they were stocked up on soap, but we're going to just have to reassess and see what we can do. But those are the types of things we're preparing for. Thankfully, there aren't any cases near us. Most of the cases are centered around Nairobi. So I'm hoping that we will avoid a surge where we are, but still, I wish they would have just let the kids stay with us and we could have just been in our own little quarantine, but I don't know what's going to happen. So.
That's tough. Does anybody have any questions for Jen? Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I was just going to say that Jen did mention that the 2 work projects that were scheduled for this summer have also been put on hold. So if anybody was interested in those, stay tuned.
Yeah, I'm pretty much pushing everything to next year. I have no idea when I'll be able to get back there, but I do have a list started of interested volunteers. So hopefully we'll be able to travel again one day.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jen.
Well, thank you so much, Jen, for coming and giving us an update. We look forward to pictures of cows. One silver lining on all of this is that we're able to interact. We've got people from Spain, far-flung places. So maybe we'll be able to meet kids someday.
Yes, that would be great.
All right, folks. Well, this concludes our meeting for today.